When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever? Or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those unseen?
How are you connected?
My daughter.
Is your mother passed away? Okay, she's here. All right. I'm sorry. Aw.
And you had a son? Is that the one that's the cross? Because I hear, tell Mom and Dad I got a haircut.
Mom, dry your tears. It's Rye. Ryan Rye. I don't know if he wants
Ryan.
to. Okay. He wants to lean down and give you all a kiss.
That's Ryan.
And he says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means.
God.
If I can help one person out there know that they're loved, to feel comfort, that there's hope, that we will reunite with those that we have loved but never lost, my work's complete then.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Tony. How are ya?
I'm wonderful, and you look beautiful. Look at that.
I had to have a good Christmas backdrop.
Right?
Yes. I wish this would be outside my picture window, but...
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Did you have a good birthday last
I
week?
did. I had amazing cake, and, like 30 people showed up, and we sang karaoke and all kinds of stuff. We had a great time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask you about that. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has sent me so many wishes for my recovery over surgery. This one was a little tough, and John had to wheel me in here, basically, but I'm here.
Well,
and
I'm glad.
It'll be another 8 weeks
Oh, wow.
of really recovering. But thank you, everybody. I have a couple confirmations from last week. I love to read the confirmations. We also have a book winner.
Oh,
Let me
good.
Just get that out. Yeah, because I had the name written down. This lady watches a lot, almost every week, and she has shared so many times.
Nice.
Her name's Patty Eisenhower. So, Patty, if you're watching tonight, and I hope you are, or this afternoon, wherever you're watching from, please email me, would you? Or on Facebook, either if you're a friend on my friend page or on the fan page, which is the People's Medium, let me know your address and I'll send you an autographed copy. I have 6 books if you'd like to pick one. The book I think that week was a prayer book that I wrote called The True Nature of Love that you won, but you might want another one, so let me know. And the confirmations are great. I have one here from Pat, who watches the show every week. She says, my husband and I love your show, and I know that you like confirmations. So I want to tell you something, and I'll keep it brief. She says, last year, my husband and I actually came to see you, and we had an unexpected loss, and my heart goes out to them. Their beautiful 28-year-old daughter, during a routine hospitalization procedure, passed away. And she said that you told us then that we would be having a little granddaughter, and we had a grandson, and we didn't have any thought about it. But she said on Wednesday, the 29th of November, a couple weeks ago, they were blessed with a second grandchild. It was a precious little girl. They didn't want to know the gender, so the little girl was quite a surprise. And when her daughter held the child, she said, this is really something because boys run in the family a lot.
That's funny.
And her daughter said, tell Michelle she was right. We had this little precious girl, a gift from heaven for the holidays. So the other one that I want to say, and I get a lot of them, but Anne called me last week, and Anne's been pretty faithful. If you're watching, Anne, hello, darling. But she wrote to me and said, I really don't know the ways the spirit realms communicate. Can you help me? I want to hear from my daddy. And she had no idea the different ways. So I told her about my book, Miraculous Encounters. It's over 100 true stories of people's experiences with the other side. And she got the book, and she read the book, and she was thrilled with the book. So she called in. She called in last week, and that very night, Wednesday night, she had a dream of her dad, finally. He's been gone, for a while. And she says, I was so excited. She said, He came in a dream. He didn't say a word. He was sitting at a brown table. He was smiling at me, and he looked completely at ease and content, and he was genuinely happy, and he looked very proud. She said he looked very proud.
That's great.
And then she said, then my dog, darn it, woke me up. Anyhow, but she says, I haven't seen him this happy for over 20 years. So he's either been gone for a long time or, you know, she remembered him from years and years ago growing up. And she said, finally yesterday, she said, I felt him. He was sitting right beside me.
Oh, that's great.
So in that book, if you don't have that book, we talk about different books of mine, different weeks, of course, but Miraculous Encounters is a really good one. It talks about how we can feel them, see them, have contact with them. Yeah, thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
They send messengers in the form of birds and butterflies, sometimes animals. We can smell fragrance, smoke. My dad uses cherry pipe tobacco smoke. He passed when I was 13 of a brain cancer, but he every once in a while will put a whiff of cherry pipe tobacco smoke in the air. So thanks everyone for watching. Patty, congratulations on the book. I will be giving a book away tonight, and it's called Visions from Mary. The reason I chose this book is we're close to Christmas time, and we know about the Annunciation, and we know about Gabriel appearing to Blessed Mother Mary, and she personifies the feminine divine goddess energy, the loving, nurturing energy of this world or of this universe. So back in the early 1990s, this was my very first book. It took 4 years to write it. And I was meditating, and I looked up and I saw a vision of a beautiful woman at the foot of my bed that looked like Blessed Mother, and I was shocked. I really was. She was bathed in white. She had white on, this beautiful blue light around her.
Oh, wow.
And she said, and a beautiful little heart-shaped face. And she said, she put her hand out to me, and she said, I want you to paint 12 paintings. And she didn't tell me it was going to be a book in the beginning. She just wanted these beautiful paintings done. And I wasn't being disrespectful, but I thought, why me? I'm not even Catholic, you know. And she sent back, well, neither am I.
That's right.
She said, so they gave me permission to do this because we're talking early 90s. And with each year, things open up more and more in the spirit realms. Really, they do. And so it took 4 years or 5 years. The paintings were done first. They were 30 by 40 inches in pastel chalk. And I didn't do them in order. I painted them very quickly. Each one took about an hour. They were definitely channeled.
Really? Only an hour?
Yeah, honestly, they were chalk, just pastel chalk, a little bit of white paint. So when I did them, I put them around the room. I mean, it took a year to do them off and on, because I wasn't being an artist full time at that time in my life.
Right.
Not a full-time artist. And then she wanted them placed in a certain order. And then I noticed there was a symbol in each one. So do you have some of them? Can you pull up the nativity?
Yeah, let's do the nativity. Let's do that one first. Here we go.
That's definitely a Christmas one. Yeah. That's, of course, Mother Mary holding the baby, our Savior. And the colors are really, really beautiful. And you can see the chalk. And that one represents unconditional love. And so there are basically 12 paintings reproduced in the back of this book. It's called Visions from Mary. And there are 12 chapters that correlate with each painting. And then there are 12 lessons, 12 meditations. It could be a whole course, actually. 12 prayers. And then each painting, as I said, has a symbol that you meditate upon. So just pull one up at random. I have 12 in the back, but I sent you a couple today, I think.
Well, there's another one, the rose.
The mystical rose.
That's beautiful.
And it looks like ocean water. And then in the heart of the rose, looks like an eye or triangle. But that one is very, very mystical to meditate upon. And people see different images in them when you really pull them up. And in the back of the book, they're in beautiful color. So that one is really one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's not of her appearance the way I saw her. It's just a portrayal of the feminine. So each painting has a different look of a face.
Well, here's the Holy Spirit one.
Yeah. See the dove?
Yes.
So that's called the descent of the spirit. And the dove would represent peace. And that's the painting for peace. So that's what you would meditate upon. And then I think there's one more I sent over.
Yep, the
of
baptism.
the 12. Yes, the baptism. And look at the water energy. And you can almost see the sign of infinity below there. There's a shell, a white shell, and that represents rebirthing. And then if you look to the left and right of the shell, there's two ovals, but when they're kind of hooked together, it looks like infinity, sign of infinity.
Right.
So, yeah. So they're all different. And I just wanted to let the people know tonight that that's the book I'll be giving away. So if you share the show, and how you share the show is share it on your Facebook page, please.
Right.
And I hope by now that you've liked my Facebook page. It's Michele Livingston, the People's Medium. Hope you've liked it by now. And yeah, if you would do me a favor and share it, because we're getting new viewers all the time, which is amazing, and wonderful emails and confirmations. And also, I have a special going for Christmas for the book. The book is normally $25, but if you'd like to buy it, we are selling it for $12.99.
Wow.
And yes, because I want to do that as a Christmas give back to all the people that listen and watch. So I will, and that's an autographed signed copy. So I do that for you. So that's the first one that got the other ones rolling. And I'm also just want to say very quickly, I started a book on pets and animals.
Oh, great.
Last season, actually fall, 2000, well, I forget where we are now.
Right.
It was when I was on your show last season.
Oh my
I
gosh.
started a book with pets and animals as messengers, as spirit guides, those that appear in dreams. And people right and left were sending stories in. And I'm still going to be working on that book. So if you have a story about an animal, whether it's a cat, dog, bird, whatever it is that you love, send it to me. Some of them are absolutely beautiful. It's kind of be like a chicken soup for the soul, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, so that is it. I wanted to get the book winner. I wanted to get that out and the confirmations out, and talk about Visions from Mary. I think that you'll love the book. It's not religious. It's for everyone. So you don't have to be Catholic or anything.
Right.
for whatever reason. And then John had some good response from last week. If you watched last week's show, my husband John was on. And he does counseling. And he also has a special too. So if you want a phone reading with him for mind, body, spirit counseling or alignment, call us. And it's my number is on my website, but basically 717-737-3888 is the number. Trying to get through everything here. So, yeah. So just want to say happy holidays, everybody. Love you all. Thank you so much for all you do. And I'll be taking calls tonight, I promise. People were writing and saying, are you going to teach? What are you going to do? Are you going to have somebody on there?
Right.
On Skype or Zoom? No, not tonight. But in the future, if you would like to be a guest on the show, as I don't know if you've watched previous weeks, but sometimes I'll have a guest where I do a mini reading for them. And also a couple authors have written and said, could I come on as a guest? So I'm kind of getting a lineup together for the new year, and it's going to be great. So Tony monitors the chat room.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you want to say anything in the chat room or ask any questions about a loved one, if you sometimes people are intimidated about calling in. They don't want other people to know their private business or whatever, and that's fine. But if you have a question about a loved one, just put your name in there and also what your question is. And it's here we go, www.ubnradiotv.com.
Yep, that's it.
And I'm did I get that right?
It could just be could be ubnradio.com or ubnradiotv.com, either one.
Yeah, either one. So yeah, and so what happens there is, since this is aired from Hollywood, California, your messages go straight there, and Tony is able to monitor them, because I don't see any of your messages on my Facebook page till after the show's over. And then I answer everybody after the show's over. So if you're writing to me saying right now, how's my sister who passed 2 weeks ago? I won't see it till later. Till later, probably this evening.
Right.
So, okay. So I can open it up for calls or questions or anything, Tony. Is there
All
anybody
right.
with questions?
Oh, well, let's look in the chat room. Of course, you know, there's people saying, Brenda says, do I have messages from my grandparents or my dad? And then LJB says, hope for a message from my brother who passed away. So if you can, go ahead and call in and get into the queue, unless Michelle wants to try to read somebody just through the message center.
Is it LBG? Did you say?
LJB 3312.
LJB.
Yeah.
And it's a brother, loss of a brother.
Loss of a brother.
As soon as I heard that, wow, I have an energy here that's really, really strong. The brother felt a little bit confused off and on, is what I'm hearing. Wants to be very relaxed looking, and had a lot of joy. He had a lot of joy in his heart, but he had sometimes a rough time of showing emotions, or he couldn't be overly emotional, which is very unusual because they don't usually let me feel that. So more than hearing him say, hello, LJB, I'm here, he's letting me feel how he felt in life. And he felt different. He did, was somewhat creative. So your brother's safe and in the love and light, and wishes you a Merry Christmas, and actually does that. So that's, I got chills almost as soon as I heard brother. And what was the other question?
Let's see. Where'd it go? Because there's people. Brenda said, do I have messages from my grandparents or my dad?
Yeah. Oh, I have a real proud dad. He's mentioning November, December. So there's some connections, Brenda, honey, with last month, birthdays, celebrations, or his passing month or whatever, and also this month of December. There's some huge connection. So let me know about that, Brenda. Grandparents are fine. They're happy. But I do get dad pretty strong around you. And he was what you see, what you get kind of guy. He didn't put on airs.
Right.
He had a mind of his own, too. I mean, I wouldn't say feisty, but I would say once he made his mind up, like a mule, you could not change it. You could not move him. So, Brenda, that's what I get for your dad. But he does have a big grin on his face, and he is winking, which I think is kind of funny. He just says, tell her I love her. Tell her I'll be with her. And he shows me Christmas ornaments. This is funny. He shows me red and green, shiny, and gold, shiny Christmas balls. So I don't know if you've decorated yet, Brenda, or not, but your dad is laughing about the Christmas decorations. So anyhow, that's what I get for you, love.
That's great. They love it. They love it.
If they have confirmations about any of it, tell them to write back in.
Oh, I will.
Sometimes they do. Okay.
Perfect. I will. And we have plenty of people in the chat room. In the call center. It's packed.
Okay.
Must be that time of year.
It is that time of year.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a hello from heaven. And it's a time of year when, family always gathers together and memories come up. And as we get older, of course, like I am, I have memories of 2 Christmas trees that we had. And just wonderful times. My mother was an amazing cook. So I can, smell her food in the air, and the pine of the Christmas tree, just all those beautiful, beautiful memories. Snow angels and sledding. My daddy would take me sledding down the hills, and yeah, it's great.
Oh,
so,
amazing.
Okay, so who do we have, Tony?
All right, well, let's see who we have here. I'm trying to find, we have Jeremy from 719. So let's see if Jeremy, get him on the phone. Jeremy, you there?
I sure am.
There you go. Well, you're live with Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, Jeremy. Merry Christmas.
You too, Michelle. Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Jeremy. So what's your question? You want to talk to a loved one in heaven, or not talk to them, but have them say hello to you?
Yeah, I was just wanting to know if perhaps my grandmother or grandfather on my dad's side be able to come through.
Sure, paternal. I have a paternal grandma here. Oh boy,
Okay.
she has Christmas cookies. This is going to be a food night. I just know it, Jeremy. She tells me that you've always been a good boy. Isn't that funny the way she says that? And I have to ask, where are you calling from, Jeremy? Can you tell me, please?
I am calling from Colorado, but I did grow up in Texas.
Did you? Because I have a feeling that where you are now is not home for you. You know, I had that feeling. That's why I ask you. And Texas is quite different from Colorado, that I know. But I know that you loved to run as a kid. I know that you love to be free. I know how creative you were. Grandmom remembers a lot, and you remember a lot about her. And she will be with you Christmas Day. And I have to say, Jeremy, you have come a long way. And with that said, it has to do with your emotional progression, the spiritual progression too, but emotional. You're trying not to take things as personally as you used to years ago. You're trying to be more upbeat, believe it or not. And, you know, as we said, as I was talking about fond memories at the holidays and everything, it can also be a blue time, a blue Christmas for many people, because they have lost a lot of loved ones. But where's the M initial? M. Where would that be? Oh, here we go. Someone passed or on earth? Can you tell me, Jeremy, very quickly?
M. Letter M. I'm trying to think.
Or it could be Emma. It could be Emma. It's just an M sound like that, and it's always correct. So if you think of it, let me know. They could be on earth or past. And I'm also getting other J's. I'm sorry, sir. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying, okay. Yeah.
There are also other J's somewhere, like a Jake John back in time also. Do you know your genealogy very well?
Yeah, James would be my grandfather. Yeah, her husband.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So instead of identifying herself, she's going to bring, unless you called her ma, grandma, or something like that, she's opening the door for James to come through. And I like him. He liked to get outdoors a lot too. So when I said that you as a kid liked to run around and be, you know, have fun, James did too. James liked to get out, and he liked to deep breathe. He loved the land. Wherever you grew up, that's where he loved. There's a job change for you, Jeremy. You're working now, are you? Are you working?
Actually, I am in between. I'm looking at the moment, and I'm hoping and praying something's coming soon.
Okay, I thought so, because your grandfather James is talking about a work situation. That's why I asked you if you're working now, because there was an issue about this. He made me feel that within a month, within about 6 weeks, please be patient, to 8 weeks, something is going to come up for your highest good. And I know that you're working out patience. That's a difficult one, isn't it? Yes, I am. That's a difficult one.
That's what I've had to learn this year.
Yeah, and they are helping you, sir. They are your spirit guides, both Grandma and James. So I'm glad that they came through for the holidays for you. Do not lose hope. It's going to be a good 2018 for you, Jeremy. It's going to be a good one. So, God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
God bless you, honey. Bye-bye.
You too, Michelle. You take care.
Thank you.
That was a great reading.
Oh, I like when men call.
Right?
I gotta get more men in line here.
Let me see what I can do.
on the medium train.
That's right. I said, let me see what I can do. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I think we have Irene. So let's see. Irene, you're live with Michelle. Go ahead, ask her question, and I know you're going to have a great response.
Hello, Irene.
Your discharge down here.
Turn your sound down, honey.
Irene, you there? All right, 5, 4. There she is. Turn your background noise down so we can hear you.
Yeah, turn it down, Irene.
People should like.
All right, so I don't think she hears us.
Yeah, we lost her.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next one.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Remember, this is live, and I'm East Coast, and Tony's West
That's
Coast,
right.
and we're trying to bring everybody together in the middle.
That's right.
And it gets a little seriously. It gets crazy.
All right, so we have, let's see, Alexandra. So it's 732. So let's go ahead and get Alexandra on.
How beautiful a name is that?
How you doing? Are you there?
Hi, hello.
Alexandra,
hi, Tony. How are you guys doing?
What a beautiful name. What a beautiful name you have, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What would your question be?
Actually, we are friends in Facebook.
Oh, you are? Oh, wow. Well, then write something to me. What's your question, Alexandra?
My question is, I miss my grandma a lot, and I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her. She died in another country. I couldn't fly over for her funeral.
Oh.
And, yeah, this time of year, I always miss her.
Now, what country did she pass away? Where did she pass away, sweetheart?
Oh, it's in Cape Verde Island. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a small country in the West Coast, Africa.
Oh, Africa. Oh, that's interesting. I'm so sorry about that loss.
It's outside the continent. It's a country like it's 10 islands.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'm sorry for that loss. Your grandmother was not very tall, was she, Alexandra? In height?
No, she's about 5'4".
Okay. I'm getting a shorter lady. Yes. I think I have her through for you, darling. I have a shorter lady coming in. And she says, you didn't have to be there when I passed. She wants you to know, Alexandra, that she was okay, that the angels came for her. I'm not feeling pain with her. And I'm feeling a fairly quick passing, although I am getting pressure here at my chest region for some unknown reason right before she passed. And she says that she's going to come to you in a dream. Have you dreamt of her, honey?
Sometimes I feel like she's present. I don't know how to describe.
Yes. So I want you to be open to feeling her energy, but also dreaming. And some people say they don't dream, but in reality, they just don't remember their dreams. But your grandmom wants to wrap her arms around you. And she wants to give you a token of her love. So did you receive anything that was personally from her? Did you receive anything of her from her being? Let me put it that way, that was personal. Any necklaces, any jewelry, anything that belonged to her. Let me put it that way, Alexandra.
I had a bracelet.
Because she just wants to hand you something that was hers. And I don't know if you still have it or not, but would you please hold it if you have it? And the reason I say that is when we have objects of loved ones or from loved ones, energy is still on those objects. And love never dies. So it's not the importance of the material aspect of the bracelet or whatever. It's the idea of the love. Because it was your grandmom's, okay? And she was a lady of faith, if you understand what I'm talking about when I say faith. Now, it doesn't mean that she was overly religious. It just means that she prayed. Your grandmother prayed a lot. She has been praying. Yes, and she's been praying for you because sometimes you feel alone, sweetheart. I don't understand quite what she means. When she tells me that, do you understand what's being said here?
Yes, and I would like to send a great, kiss for somebody else who passed too. And we was It was a boyfriend. His name is Brian. He passed away in 2006. It was suddenly death too. I didn't expect it. So whatever he's in heaven, I send him.
Oh, he's definitely in heaven. But I have Grandma real strong. I have her here very strongly. And she alludes to the fact that you do feel alone. And I'm sorry for the loss of Brian. And I do have to say, I'm just feeling love, heart love. I don't get him totally through, Alexandra. But you'll be in my thoughts during the holidays, sweetheart. So keep your chin up, would you, honey? Keep your chin up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
God bless you, sweetheart. Take care. Good night.
Okay. Thank you. Happy holidays for you too.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So her grandmother passed in a colony outside of Africa. Isn't that unusual?
Right.
Wow. I mean, I never heard of that. I never heard of the colony. But anyhow, Tony.
I know. I was like, I never do that either. All right. Well, we have Lori. She's anxious to get on, and just wondering if have any communications with my two boys, Jason. It says two boys, Jason and Shane. So let's see. That's an interesting topic. So let's figure that one out. Mm-hmm. So Lori, you on with Michele Livingston? You have a question for her?
Yes. Hi. I just want to see if there's anything coming through from both my boys that I lost a couple of years ago within 10 months.
Within 10 months, Lori, I'm so sorry, honey. Shane was one of them, and what was the other one's name?
Jason.
Jason. Okay. Now, they passed in different ways, didn't they?
Yeah, right.
From different... Mm-hmm. So, I think I have Shane through... one of them, I think it's Shane. Who was the older one, Lori? I had the older one through.
Oh, Jason.
Jason, okay. Then Jason's had his hair cut to come in and talk to you tonight, which I find is very interesting. And he says, Mom, I tried to always be the little man for you, because he was the older one. And he wants you to know he's taking care of his brother in heaven, darling. And one of them didn't know what hit them. One of the boys at the end, when they passed away, literally didn't know what hit them. So one went out pretty quick, didn't they? Didn't one of them? Lori, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I think they both did. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with one of them, I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. I'm feeling like I'm falling. And I have to ask, this could be accident. It could be substance related, something to that effect. Okay, that's how I'm feeling, like I want to fall forward. So even though they passed...
You're cutting out, so I didn't hear that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Even though they passed in different ways, Lori, I feel one could have been like a shocking thing, like an accident. I also feel a little bit of substance, possibly, with one. Now, not a lot of substance, but I feel a little dizzy with one of them when they passed away. So can you confirm why I would feel a little bit dizzy with one of them, Lori? Can you tell me, please, honey?
I wish I could. I have very little information on either one.
Really? Because I'm feeling...
Yeah, and
So is there conjecture and questioning about how they passed? Is that what you're saying or asking?
Yeah, for one of them, the coroner never was able to find a reason.
Well, I know that what I feel is one of them is very dizzy, and I feel like I want to fall forward. And that could have been heart-related, where the heart just literally stopped. That's probably why they didn't find anything. If they did autopsies, I'm surprised they didn't find any kind of a substance, is what I'm trying to say. So when I feel dizzy, go ahead, Laura. Go ahead, Lori.
They didn't.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't, because I feel like the room's spinning with one of them. So then I do have to say that could be Jason. And I think possibly maybe the reason I feel dizzy is the blood. There was something with an embolism, something with the heart stopping, something where there wasn't enough blood to the brain. I'm so sorry. And they went out together, didn't they? Within a year of each other?
Yeah, 10 months.
Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. But I have Shane through. He's the younger one. He always looked younger than his age, Lori. Do you understand? He doesn't want to look old to me. And he has a boyish grin. Are you there,
he's 26.
Yeah, but he still looks younger, you know? He doesn't want you to think of him as older. He was full of himself growing up. That's for sure. He was really full of himself when he was growing up. And he still has a boyishness. He still has a boyishness about him, if you understand what I'm saying. It's kind of an easiness about him. So there are two distinct personalities, and one of your sons is a little bit more like the biological father, and one of the sons is more like you. Now, do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. Because they're laughing about that.
Yeah, I understand it, but I don't like it. No.
Yeah. You don't like it because of the father?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. One had a more of a stubborn streak and was a little more headstrong. Yeah, I know. And the other one is this boyish, almost joined at the hip to you feeling, Lori. And they did like Christmas, and I do have to say, they do miss you at the holidays. I know desperately you miss them, but they'll be down for Christmas. That's for sure. So I have them both through. I know definitely one's heart stopped, okay? And I'm not quite sure about I said I know definitely one's heart had stopped. So you can watch the replay of this, Lori, and you'll get more information, sweetheart. Okay? So I'm going to say God bless you, darling. I'm sorry for your losses at the holidays. It's a tough time for you. But bless you, darling.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good night. Take care. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Wow,
two sons. Tough.
Two sons. That's.
But within a year of each other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and can you explain real quick before I take another call that, like when we come to Earth and choose, it seems like when we choose these paths, why would we choose to lose two sons?
Well, that's a good question. We soul contract a timeline to learn soul lessons. And as I talked to Jeremy in Colorado, he's basically here to be aware of patience. So he's probably had to wait for everything his entire life. We're in soul groups in heaven, and they can be up to 5,000 to 6,000 souls.
Oh, wow.
We choose to, with certain souls, come down at a certain time.
Right.
So we pick parents, we pick siblings, we even pick children before we even incarnate to learn group lessons or individual soul lessons. So these two young souls, which would be Shane and Jason, have probably been around in many past lives together, probably wanted to come through as twins, but decided not to. But they decided to go out together.
Right.
So they had lessons to teach their mother and lessons to teach their dad. And when I got to, the boys saying one was more like the biological dad, Lloyd kind of gasped because she was learning soul lessons from her husband. And no relationship's easy. So we pick our time to come in and our time to go. It's not a conscious choice. It's a soul choice. And so there's things that she needed to learn by their passing. And that could be whatever it is for her. It could be faith. It could be strength to go on. She have started a support group to help other mothers who have lost sons. So different things rotate, Tony, from an incident, whether it's a death or a birth. There's things that are constantly the old domino effect happening. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So yeah. So I don't really know at this point. I'm not into Shane and Jason's agreements.
Right.
But their agreement would have been to choose their mom and to go out together.
Wow.
And I'm also feeling they were soldiers in a past life together, and were close. So, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I hope that answers it because we're not taught this. we're taught that we have one chance to perfect a lifetime, and then everybody's fearful that they're going to go to hell.
Well, I think that I think that's true, but I think, for people like myself, it's not that. It's like if there is one life, it's like, oh my God, I have to have everything at once, and I sometimes, but then I go back and go, no, I don't have to. I want to enjoy moments, not necessarily everything.
Right, it's a journey. Yeah. It is a journey, and I've counseled so many parents lately with children who have passed, and that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Especially around the holidays. So, yeah, but that's a good question.
All right. Well, we have a lot of people in the chat room, not a lot of time, so I think we might as well take another one. All right, here we go. Let's see. Irene, 306. So let's go ahead and get Irene on the phone. Irene, you there?
I'm here, yes. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Irene. Is this the same Irene we were trying to get on before?
Yes, I called back in.
Well, thank you, darling. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. Same to you.
And
I'd
where
like
are
to
you
hear from my
calling from?
husband if he has any messages for me.
And where are you calling from, Irene?
Oh, I'm calling from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Oh, my goodness. Saskatchewan. I bet it's cold up there, is it?
It's nice for us. We had about +4 today, so that's very nice.
+4, and it's very nice? Holy heck.
Yes.
You better have some fur coats, sweetheart. Even if they're faux furs, that's cold. So, Irene, is your husband, are you married? Let me ask you this. Are you married?
I'm widowed.
I thought so. The reason I say that, there's a gentleman coming in behind you, and he puts his hands on your shoulders. He says, I want to tell my wife that I do love her. I know that we had our differences when I was on earth, but she'll always be number one to me. That's what your husband says. And I didn't hear who you wanted to hear from, but he's definitely very strong around you. And he says, sometimes you just sit and do a lot of thinking, Irene, that's funny, about who's going to be with you later on in life. And I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to be alone when you get older, okay? You're going to be around people. And I don't think you worry about it, but your husband wants to know that, wants you to know he'll always be there for you. He wants to be a hero for you, Irene. Isn't that funny when I say a hero for you? He wants to stand front and center. He wants to protect you. And if you had any differences, he's sorry about it, but he does really love you, okay? I find that very interesting. And there is a nice picture of the two of you. I don't know if it's a wedding picture, but it's one of his favorite pictures.
Yes, I have it in my office.
Yeah, do you? Well, that's the room then I want to go to with him and you. So when you're in your office and you're looking at that particular picture, he's next to you. Okay? I want to tell you that.
Okay.
He was a very good-looking man when he was younger.
Yes.
That's for sure. And also, is your mother passed, darling?
No.
Okay. Then I have her mother. I have a maternal grandmother for you, Irene.
Okay.
And I like her energy. She comes in very strong today. And when I say strong, I mean she's emotionally there for you. She's trying to make up for anything she didn't do when she was on Earth. She's protecting your own mother. And I feel your mother has time left. And she's pushing you towards your mother in the way of love and support. Irene, do you visit or call your mother ever? You ever see her?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
What your grandmother's acknowledging that. She wants you to keep up with it, okay? And your mother's very strong-willed too.
Yes, very.
Yeah, I have to laugh because I never know how they're going to make me feel, what they're going to say. But and I also have to ask how many siblings, if you have siblings, Irene.
2 brothers and a sister.
Okay, because there's love being sent there, and they're all on Earth, correct?
Yes.
There is a lot of love being sent from your grandmother down to the others in the family. So you come from a big family. And I just want to say to you that you do good work. You're well thought of. Where did you say you're in Canada? You're very well thought of there, and you've made a difference in this world, darling. Sometimes you think maybe I didn't do too much with my life, but you've made a big difference. So do you understand what's being said? Because I want you to understand what they're telling me. Both your husband and grandmother are telling me this, that you've made a difference. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. You're the type that gets, yes, I'm glad, darling. You're the type that gets ideas and that wants to help humanity. You've made a difference in this world. And sometimes we feel like we're not making a difference, but I do have to say you have made a difference. And so I cannot tell you how proud the loved ones in heaven are of you, Irene. Okay? I almost heard Reenie. I don't know if you ever had a nickname, but that almost flew out. So no, husband is strong tonight, and your grandmother's strong, darling. And stay warm, would you please?
I will.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Michelle.
You. Merry Christmas, Irene.
Merry Christmas to you.
Night.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Wow, that's great.
I love when spouses come in.
I know. Especially it's like, no matter what you thought, I love you anyway.
And we kept talking about differences, so I think she got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes these things get a little personal, these meetings. But
you're like, should I be here? All right, well, we have time for one more. You want to take another one?
Yes.
All right, so let's see. We have Madeline. So let me go ahead and get her on. Go ahead. Madeline, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
Now, I think Madeline may have called before. Have you called in before, Maddie?
I think, did you talk last week?
No, I don't think.
Oh.
You haven't called in before? Where are you calling from, darling?
Calling from Ontario, Canada.
I think we did talk to Madeline last week, didn't we, Tony?
The voice sounds familiar.
I think I took the call.
The accent is usually distinguishable, yeah.
Yeah. So would you do me a favor? Because I'm trying to get some new callers in, Madeline. Do you mind if I take the next call, sweetheart?
Yes, please do. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll put you back in so you can listen to the show. And
yeah, thanks.
All right, there we go. All right, so let's go. Well, how about Mary? Since it's Christmas. So Mary, 519, you're on the air with Michele Livingston.
Hello, Mary.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Hi.
Happy holidays, honey.
Same to you.
So who would you like to hear from heaven? Or do you have a question? Let me put it that way.
Well, I'd like to hear from my son.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your boy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How old was he, Mary? Can I ask you how old?
He was 25.
Oh, okay. Was he your only son, Mary?
No. I have an older one.
I thought so. I may have him through, but I have an older gentleman coming in first, Mary, who could be a dad or a granddad to you.
Could be my father.
Yeah, I want to say I think this is your dad, which would be your son's grandfather. And he's talking about the boys. And so as he steps through, he says, "Hi, Mary." He says, I love ya. He says, "I loved the boys, both boys." He says, "I'm sorry, but one is with me." And so your father looks good. He doesn't want to look ill. He doesn't want to look old. And he was a little gruff when he was on Earth. I also have to ask you, did anybody enjoy beer or liquor, Mary? Enjoy it.
Wow.
I'm not saying fall down alcoholic.
My father drank a lot of beer. He wasn't really an alcoholic, but he
right, exactly. That's what I said. I'm not saying he was an alcoholic, but I see beer cans. Here we go. I'm sorry. It's his way of linking to give me his personality. And I'm hearing the beer can being popped open, literally. And he says, you can't drink in heaven, Mary, but you know I enjoyed my beer. And your son was welcomed over there. And he's with your dad, and your son's also with a female. So I want to say it's probably a grandmother or a mother of yours, Mary. And I do have
grandmother.
Your mama. I don't want to divert, but who may have had the cancer? Who may have had the cancer in your family?
Well, his grandmother on the other side.
Okay, she says hello because the symbol's coming up loud and clear for me. So I have her through as well. Okay, she says hello. Your son was a bright light for you. And I know that you have another son on earth, but this one holds your heart. And when I say that, it's not just because he's passed away. It's because you were pretty close to him, weren't you? And I feel like you, I feel, Mary, like you want to protect him as he was growing up. There was a lot of not just love, but there was a lot of, I'm not going to even say concern, but protection from you over your son. And I do get him through with your dad, and I do get him through with your grandmom. And he says, Mom, he says, don't cry. He says, I'm in a better place. And did he go quickly, Mary? Your boy, quickly?
Yes, very quickly.
So I'm going to ask you the same thing. I feel like I'm falling. And maybe I was overlapping with you and another caller who lost a son, but I feel like I'm something spinning around. Did he have any substance? Did he do anything with substance, darling?
Well, initially it was an overdose, but he actually died from a pulmonary embolism.
Okay, so he was into substance, because that's how he's making me feel initially. And the pulmonary then...
Well, it was an overdose of his medications originally, but that was out of his system. But he was hospitalized for 8 days, and it developed a blood clot, and he died before my eyes within seconds.
So out that quick. And I know that you were holding his hand because he wants to reach out and squeeze your hand. And he wants to say, Mom. He says, don't worry about me. He says, the angels took me. And I'm not kidding you. He went up and out of his body very quickly. He was a good kid. And you might say, well, why did this happen? It's not for us to ask why, Mary, but he wants you to know that you were a good mom. And he does kiss you, darling. He kisses you on the cheek. And I do have to say, hang in there. And he sends love to his brother. And he wants his brother to be there for you. He's going to influence his brother and be a guide of his brothers to be there for you personally, Mary.
Okay.
So you're in my thoughts and prayers, darling, at this holiday season. And I'm glad you were able to get through, Mary. God bless you, hon.
Okay, thank you. And same to you, Michelle.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Man.
Wow. Lots of husbands and sons.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, but,
well, I tried to get to as many as I could because people are like, please take more calls. Please take more calls.
Right. Yeah. And you, like, as soon as one person hung up, somebody else tapped in. So tonight, there was a lot of people that really definitely needed some guidance, and I think you really helped as many as you could. So, yeah.
Thanks, Sir Tony.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. And I know we're off for a few weeks, and so I want you to have the best. You and John to have the best Christmas and New Year's. So
thank you, and same to you, darling.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to take a holiday hiatus for a couple weeks. I'm going to work on my book on animals and pets. If you have a story, send it to me.
And heal.
Yes, thank you. I need to heal.
Yes.
I need to take it slow and heal. But God bless everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And always be kind, everybody.
That's
Love
right.
to all.
Love to all. All right.
Good
Take
night.
care. Good night, Michelle.